Alright, here we go, finally. Game number 2, restarted up. Between IMRobB and Boom Headshot, also known as Dark Lord Dan. Hellions do damage in a straight line with their flamethrower. Get close to packs of minis to maximize your damage. All you noobs need to know that. Remember that. Lining them up. Line them up, as Day 9 would say. Alright, now in the 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock position, we have Boom Headshot, Dark Lord Dan as our red Protoss. And in the 7 o'clock position, we have IMRobB as our pink Zerg. I'd love it if he just went for a 6 pool. Get game 2 over with quickly. After the long wait. Dan making a pile on top of his ramp for a wall off. IMRobB still droning up. Not much else going on at the moment. Forgive me if I don't have anything to talk about. And I'm sorry the sound is fluctuating a lot, guys. It's because I have to use a sound card on my motherboard, because when my dumbass built my own computer, I forgot to buy a sound card, and I trusted the motherboard. Even though the motherboard's worth $300, the sound card is shit. Looks like he's going to take the edge of the base in order to get a pylon in there. He's laying down his gateway now. He'll probably go for another proxy pylon play, but since the Overlord is right here, he'll see the probe, and he dispatches the drone. Or is he using that for a spawning pool? Oh, did he not see the probe? He should have seen it. It should have been on his minimap right there. But he lays down the pool and the gas, and he has not seen it. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. When will that probe lay down his pylon? How long? We're just going to watch this probe, guys. That's all we're going to do. Watch this probe. Wait until he lays down the pylon. Notice we have a gas going down. Register that, guys. I'm not going to go over there. We're going to watch this probe. Constantly. Watching a probe. And he's lagging again. Oh, great. Laying down a second pylon. That dot right there just went up. Remember that. Alright. Another pylon. Spawning pool is about to be complete. Now he's laying down the cyber core. That dot right there. But what will he do with this probe? When will he lay down the pylon? When will he lay it down? We have a queen coming out. Most likely an expansion. Or never mind, he was sitting on 300 minerals. He started metabolic boost and more circlings. Got a zealot coming out now. Still watching the probe. Still watching the probe. Watching the probe. Oh, this overlord. This overlord sees it. And he sees the pylon probably. Hang on, let me check the vision. Yep, he sees it. He sees it! And he knows it's there. This pylon will fail. Dan's pylon will not get through. And he cancels it. Smart decision. So now he lays down this gateway. He really should have had the probe move out afterwards. And like sit somewhere down here and lay down another pylon like right there. Just in case that first one was discovered. Or put another one right there. You can often abuse it by putting like a cannon right here and then a pylon right here. Or walls off the sides. The cannon can only attack from one drone right here and then one or two right here. Which really blocks it off. Believe it or not, on or not MLG, but on one map, what is it called? I believe it is a new map they're using. It's now in the map pool also for Blizzard. Warp Gate started, just so you know. Metabolic Boost is about to finish. Chrono boosting it. It's Cloud Kingdom, I believe is the name of it. Going down a Robo this game. So we're going to see a little bit of different play, which is always nice. Another gateway. Here comes our speedlings checking out the front. Yeah, Cloud Kingdom. There's a... Oh! There's a hole! The Zealot was not walled off completely. And now he gets a full scout. The Robo, the Forge, and the Gateway. And now he's fighting probes with Zerglings. Oh, damn, this has to suck for him. He can easily just run through and pick off one probe at a time if he wants. Oh, but the probes get us around. A couple lings die there. 3 lings are down, 2 left. He needs to watch his macro because the Zerg player is not macroing well at all. Sitting on 200, or he was sitting on 400 minerals, so I guess I couldn't say he was macroing at all. But he got the expansion up, needs to transfer some drones down there, get that saturated, throw down an Evo chamber in a lair or a baneling nest or something. Gotta get off circling tech. And we have a 3-gate robo with a forge coming out here, with a +1 coming out. Still got 2 lings in his base. The warp gate is just about to finish, and once the warp gate's done, he'll transport all these into warp gates and finally start taking out those zerglings, hopefully. And I don't know why he's setting in the Overlord. He already has a full scout with the lings. It's unnecessary. Because once he warps in 4 stalkers, or 3 stalkers with his gateways, he can easily take out the Overlord, which is a waste. You really should park that Overlord right here behind here and check for an expansion later on in the game. Warp gate's transforming really, really late. He could have had a whole total warp and a half by now. And 3 stalkers, now he's going to lose the Overlord, which was pointless because he had the zerglings in the base. He knows he's taking double gas, and he's not built anything out of the robo bit. And now he's supply block, see? He could have done that without losing the Overlord. It would have been good. And we got a Roach Warren going up now. Take a look at his base. Rob has the Roach Warren and taking another gas. Oh, apparently not. Canceled that. No more gases down here. He's got 2 spine crawlers at the front, which is always good, producing lings. Looks like he'll be going for a Roach Ling attack here pretty soon. Considering that Rob should have transferred, or I mean, Dan should have transferred all those into warp gates sooner and had an extra warping of stuff by now. He really needs to make an Observer with this, or an Immortal, because Roaches will be popping out pretty soon. Or he can do a Warp Prism Sentry drop, which is always good as well, because he's got double gas. He's got 2 sentries right there. Alright, +1 is just about to finish, and he's throwing down a Nexus. A hidden Nexus here, from Dan, all the way in the corner of the map, which should be the Zerg's 4th base. And he's also throwing down a Robo Bay. So it looks like he'll be going Colossus Tech, but he really should have made a Observer out of there. Because he made that Robo Bay at like 5 minutes, and it's been sitting there doing nothing for him. It's just a waste of resources until this was out, or he made something from it. So it's really not doing much for him. Then we have a lair coming in from Rob, going for the +1 missile attack for those roaches. And he's also getting his 3rd hatch up right now. So he may be able to see a macro game finally. But I don't know if my voice would be able to take that, so whatever you're rooting for, root for it. I'm kind of hoping for a short game so we can move on into the finals. I'm excited. This 4th base is still, or hidden expansion I should say, is still unscouted, and we have 1 link at the Zelnaga, obviously watching. Unit tab, we have 46 drones and 24 probes, 25 zerglings and 6 roaches to the 1 stalker, or I mean 4 stalker, 1 zealot, 2 sentry. These warp gates, they have been idle for so long. He could have had 4 more warp-ins by now. Look at the supply differential. 75 to 38. That is way too low. He needs to be warping in units constantly. And he's throwing down a Twilight Council and another Gateway. And he's getting Colossus Tech at the same time without producing a Colossus. This is really bad mineral management. This is a wall that most lower league players have to work through. This wall of not knowing how to manage the resources correctly. He shouldn't have gotten his Twilight Council to get this, or he's getting +1 shields, but the Twilight Council is really for +2 or blink, and he's not going for blink timing or anything, so Council's not needed. The 3rd gateway is not needed because this expansion has yet to kick in at all, or the 4th gateway I should say. And since he started the Lance, Thermal Lance, he's not going to have enough money for units while he's trying to make a Colossus. And he's getting Thermal Lance and still has not even begun Colossus production. So that's not good at all. Taking double gas here at the expansion. The 3rd is now up for Rob, making a queen out of that now. Also getting, excuse me, Roach Speed, Infestation Pit, and an Evo Chamber, probably for Carapace after the Infestation Pit. Will he just use this to go straight for Hive, or will he actually get Infestors out? That is the question. Dan has now taken and started mining from this base, although yet not fully saturated. Now he's just begun his first Colossus at 12 minutes, so that Robo Bay was sitting there for 6 minutes, 7 minutes, doing nothing. Absolutely nothing. And these warp gates are still sitting idle. He could be warping in units right now. He could be warping in 2 zealots or 2 sentries with the amount of gas, or I guess 1 sentry. I don't know how much sentry costs 100 gas. So he could be warping in 2 sentries or a few stalkers. He'd be warping in 2 stalkers right now, which he needs. He has good saturation. A good way to know if you have good saturation is you have 2 full rows and then 4 probes, or 4 drones, or 4 SCVs, whatever you need. But we have looks like an attack coming out. Not really smart to do this against Protoss because one force field and this attack is like shut down, literally, right now. And now all the Lings are trapped and they're going to get all area of effect damage from this Colossus, which just wasted like, what, 20 or 30 supply from there. And now, let's see here, we want that. I need to be putting that up more often. And units killed, we have 29 for Boom Headshot. That's how many Lings were lost, around 27 Lings. I think he got a drone or two before. But these overlords now scout this hidden expansion, so there's now the Lings, the Roaches are now heading down here to the hidden expansion. Take it out, we have +2 halfway done. Carapace is halfway done as well. More Roaches in production, also a Spire. +2 attack coming in for Dan. And now Dan is in trouble. This hidden natural's been exposed. He can't produce out of all of these things at once. He can't get upgrades or blink or charge for that matter, or keep producing Colossus off 4 gateways off 1 base. He should have had this expansion. This expansion would have been much safer to take had he been producing constantly with an army to have enough units to hold off that first attack. So now this base is null and void. That was basically a 400 mineral waste because he built 2 gases and only had 2 or 3 probes mining from it at all. Meanwhile, Rob now has his third up, getting safety spine crawlers. Always a good idea, if you can afford them. +2 ground attack is almost done for Dan. And he is still supply blocked. So he cannot build any units whatsoever, and he's making 2 pylons now. Meanwhile, we just have Rob massing up roaches, making more spine crawlers. Or those are just the same ones. Those are just the same ones. But really, Rob could do anything he really wants right now, because he's also making corruptors for the Colossus. And he really should only need 7 because he's not making any more Colossus. And he should know off this one base that Dan now has, he can't produce out of these units, out of these gateways, and Colossus all at the same time. It's just not possible. So he's also getting +2 Carapace, and he's starting his Hive. Now he's got the Spire. Once the Hive finishes, it'll most likely be Greater Spire. Dan is pushing out here with a small contingent. But if you look at the supplies, that tells everything. 100 supply difference. Look at that. Rob is going to roll over this if he attacks into it correctly. And Dan only has 2 sentries. So force fields cost 50 energy. So each sentry only has 8 force fields. And 8 force fields can be crushed pretty fast by a massive army. Looks like he's maxing on roaches. Another 8 in production, getting +1 missile attack as well. And he's pushing down to the center of the map. Gonna come and attack Dan here. Dan needs transfer probes, which he's doing now, but he should have been producing probes all along had he taken his natural expansion earlier, and it would be fully saturated. He could easily afford everything. And now Rob is in the +2k mineral range. Great. He's rich, living life, loving it. Looks like he just won the Mega Millions lottery, which is probably now up to like 600 million, I believe. 400 million guaranteed, which is ridiculous. I need to buy myself some tickets, and Boom Headshot is once again lagging. And Rob is now maxed. Rob can no longer produce another Roach because it takes 2, but he can make a drone. Or a Zergling, which is good. Ooh, if that Colossus pops. Oh, here we go. Big engagement, big engagement. Those Corruptors are just now landing on there. He's hugging with the Roaches, which is good. And he really never threw down any force fields, which is bad. Because force fields could have easily cut this army in half, and Boom Headshot, or Dan, had a massive chance to beat this. And now he's going to lose, because these Roaches are enough for all of this. Even though +2 ground armor is about to finish, and charge, doesn't matter. No Zealots out on the field. These Corruptors could even come over and use Corruption on these Stalkers as he could attack. It's over. 173 to 32 supply, and Dan is out of this. Game, at least, I think. Some Stalkers on the high ground. He's got vision because of this. These Corruptors up here. There goes the expansion. Now he's down to 1 base. +1 missile attack, or flyer attack, I should say.